Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important, just a question asker. I'm just a question asker, but I got two of my brothers from another mother, but we got the same father on with us this morning. Good morning, Badger. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Another beautiful and blessed day to be alive.
Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it is. And this is he gonna get me later. He gonna get me later. But I'm gonna say it this morning. I'm gonna say it this morning. This is the wise man. This is Mr. Donald Toussaint. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
I'm glad you got that title and not me.
I'm trying to tell you because you can learn a lot from a dummy. You know what? And you say that, but you know, whatever it is, it didn't come by making the right choices. It came by making the wrong and learning from your mistakes. How
And,
about that?
but let me ask you this question: Isn't that most of the time? Isn't that where wisdom come from, though? Because the people that they say are wise had to go through a lot of falls. They had to experience certain things, and that's what gives them the wisdom to know not to do them again.
I'm a repeated offender, though.
Lord.
Lord have mercy.
Oh, I was going to sing that
But
song,
hold
but
on.
No, go
But that
ahead, Raheem. Go ahead. You go let him go.
that's
Let
being
him go.
human
Yeah.
though.
No, no, let him go, Badger. Go ahead, Raheem. Go ahead. Knock it out the block. Go ahead. Go ahead, Raheem. Sing
see,
it.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to my sister because she ain't gonna let me hang myself like that. I'm gonna go to my sister. Y'all wanna throw me up under the bus. See,
You
I know
no,
my
you
sister.
started off good. You held that note. You held that note pretty good.
Okay, yeah,
That
yeah.
why. So
Huh.
you just can do one note.
That's it. One note at a time. One note a day. That's it. That's it. And that was it right there. That was it. I ain't got nothing in me, man. I ain't got
Hey
nothing.
Rahid, you
Yes,
know what
sir.
it sounds like? Toussaint's in a
Perfection.
mood.
Huh?
Toussaint's in a mood.
Uh-oh. There. Cassandra. Good
Okay.
morning, young lady.
Hey,
Hi.
hey, right here. Wait, I'm sorry. Right here. Had a group of people singing, and they asked the young folks, "Say how we sound." They say, "Sound like a pack of wolves."
See. Love turn to hate real quick, don't it? That hateration, boy. That hate is rough. That hate is rough. But see, it's called. Sometimes you have to appreciate. You have to appreciate another person's skill set, skill level. I know it's hard, man. I know it is. To hear me
Saying,
sing to hear me sing like I sing and knowing not everybody could do that, man, it's tough.
thank
It's
you, Jesus.
that Dude say thank you, Jesus. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Cassandra, how am I singing sound?
I
Oh,
plead the fifth.
see, see, she only want to admit I sound good. See, she only want to admit. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I'm talking about right there. See, that's the very thing.
I
She don't
shall
even want
not lie.
don't even want to admit how good I sound. There, hold it right there.
Wait,
There.
hold on. Is this where a white lie is appropriate?
Because you're doing good. We're going to kick off where we left off yesterday. And we're going to talk about that. Now, I don't know if we're going to talk about the entirety of the broadcast, but we're going to talk about that. And we're talking about the crime level, who commits the most crimes, and how the injustice system, how some people would deem it, would call it, um, act or react to certain individuals that do crime in comparison to other individuals. And we're gonna talk about that this morning. Cassandra, well, what's on your heart based on what we talked about yesterday and where we're going today? What's on your heart?
Yeah, I mean, I don't Okay. Well, I don't. Can you start with Donald Toussaint or Badger?
Hmm. I can. But see, the thing about it, I never looked at you as being scared.
Yeah, I'm scared because I'm trying to be nice.
This is Thirsty Thursday
I
right
mean,
here.
I'm nice, but I'm really trying. Look, I'm really trying to stay. I tried to stay calm, so I might. I don't want to start the morning off wrong.
Hmm.
Did we pray?
I ain't gonna make it no better. We did already. I ain't gonna make it no better. I'm
Neither am
telling
I.
you right now,
Hmm.
because I got some stuff on my
No,
mind that's gonna make you hot as a
no.
firecracker.
Oh Lord, no. But you know what? What my biggest thing with this topic when it comes to crime, and I'm not saying black people don't commit crime. We innocent people, but the justice, the
Yes.
equality is what bothers me.
Hmm.
I listen. If a person does wrong, they need to be punished.
Hmm.
But the unequalness, if you want to say, let's keep it simple, the
Yeah.
unequalness of what happens
Yes.
is
Yes.
crazy.
Hmm.
The amount of black people that go to jail for the same crime, and like I said, when I worked in the federal prison, it shocked me the amount of time that the black men in that prison got compared to the white men that committed the same crime. I'm like, what happened?
Hmm.
How did he get 6 years or 7 years and this black man got 20 years,
Yeah.
18,
Yeah.
20 years?
Yeah.
How do you, for the same crime?
Hmm. Hmm.
And I've always believed that it was money. Money made the difference. Their ability to, get the right type of representation. And the court system just seems to be always seem to be harder on people of color than they are on our white counterparts. And please, I don't have a problem with anybody, but I
Yeah.
do have a problem with injustice and inequality.
See, and this the conversation that we're gonna have today, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this out there right now. And I don't want anybody to think this is a white or black conversation. It's not. This conversation we're gonna have today is gonna be a right or wrong conversation. And what is right and
That's it.
what is right and what is
Yeah,
wrong? Because you know, to have somebody to commit a crime. I say this all the time. People get mad at me. Even on here, people get mad when I say this, but I mean it. I don't care. I don't really care if you don't treat me right, as long as you treat me the same way you treat everybody else. Long as you treat me like I say, if I go out there and I steal a piece of candy, and you give me time in jail or whatever it is for stealing that piece of candy, give everybody that steal a piece of candy time in jail for the same thing. And that's what I mean when I say that. Let the crime, let the punishment be just across the board. Don't have me to go out there, and I don't want people to treat me bad. I'm not saying that, not at all. But my thing is, treat me the same way you treat everybody else. Treat everybody else the same way you treat me. If you're going to give me time for doing that, give everybody time for doing that. Don't have me go and do time for doing that. Then you slap somebody on the wrist, say, that's wrong. You shouldn't do that, and send them on their merry little way. That's what happens a lot, Cassandra. Happens a lot.
yeah, it does, and that's why I try to fight so hard for justice and equality every chance I get. We
Yes.
we all don't fight the same types of fight.
Hmm.
Leonard's fight is different from mine. Yours is different from mine. Toussaint's, Badger. We all have our ways of fighting the things that we stand for, fighting
Yes.
against the things that we think are not right.
Hmm.
So I don't want to put it all in one box, but we gotta stand up for something. We
Yes.
we got when we see wrong, we gotta say that is wrong. Y'all can't do that. You can't treat one group of people one way and another group of people the other way.
Yeah.
How is that fair or equal?
It's not. It's not. And they say that the scales of justice, man, is balanced. No, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Tucson, talk to me, brother.
So you talk about this and you think about how you have the from Emmett Till to this person and that person and cities have been put underwater and
Yes.
now they got a park. Somebody did that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And here's a lady that she was part of the crime. And when did she ever get arrested?
Mm.
I'm just talking about just the arrest. Subpoenaed. She testified, but she lied clearly.
Yes, she did.
And perjury is a crime
Last I
within
checked.
itself.
Last I checked.
Within
Absolutely.
itself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Mr. President, if you molest young girls, molestation is a crime.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, let me tell you, just throw this out here for free, and I'm sorry, but to hear it and say, even mention it, what you did and what they say Bill Cosby, I don't know if he did it. I don't know. It ain't my, it's not my, I can't say it's not my business, but if the proof is in the pudding and both of them did the same thing, where the other arrests at?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Tell me about it.
Talk to me.
If I'm going 75 miles an hour in a 55-mile-per-hour zone, and a judge goes, he's scooter bound drunk, and he's going the same speed I'm going, drunk, and you pull him over. Oh, hello, Bob. You gonna have to. You want me to take you home? Well, I'm. I'm gonna say it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got it in me this morning. I'm gonna go ahead and say it right here. Put me in the corner.
Come on.
Well, hell, I did. We did the same crime.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why in the world, if I steal $10 worth of stuff, why do I have 50 years in prison?
Mm-hmm.
And you steal it, and they stop you. You matter of fact, you kill people in the church, and they stop you. Stay stopped by Burger King and get you a doggone sandwich.
Come on.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the justice for us in that? So this conversation ain't I'm like Cap was yesterday. Yeah, I thought I'm ready to fight.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got nothing good to say about this system, this injustice system in this justice world.
Wow. Mm. 508-924-3521. The pot is on the stove and it's starting to simmer. It's starting to simmer. The pot is on the stove. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? Cap, coming to you next.
Man, this is one of the saddest things that has been going on for quite some time. It's just the disparity between the different races and how they're treated.
Mm-hmm.
um, Now I know there's a lot of news that's been being put out, um, saying that more white people are going to jail and less black people. Um, like by the Washington Post and CNN and all that stuff, but they even mentioned in them, that it's still a disparity.
Mm-hmm.
The ratio is still like crazy, and it's a mix of things that cause it. So it's not something a lot of people. There's so much involved in this from the very top down,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
it's infuriating to me that we are still having to deal with this problem. And some areas, the the ratio is absolutely horrible. According to one study I was looking at, it was saying at one point Wisconsin had the highest rate of um, like every state. I think it was like almost 1,000 people difference.
Mm-hmm.
1,000 more black people were in prison
Incarcerated.
than white people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I have a that's a hard word for me
Mm-hmm.
to pronounce. And a lot of them, in the amount of things that I have seen on the news and other things of what I've seen white people get away with and not have to serve jail time
Mm-hmm.
is sickening to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely sick. I don't, people talk about justice all the time, and then the funny part is I've talked to people asking them this question of uh, just using a crime, right? And what they think the punishment should be. And then I can provide them with a name. They're like, well, did he get time? I said, no, he was white. And
Mm.
they're like, well, that don't make no sense. And then I mentioned that it's black. He got what he deserved.
Mm. Wow.
And I'm like, there's this absolute toxic mentality that has been shoved into a lot of white people's minds about racism not existing and stuff. When a lot of the ones I've come across are sick with it and don't even know it
Mm.
because they've been brainwashed to think that way. I'll
Wow.
call it out.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up as white skinned, so I know what those teachings are,
Mm-hmm.
and they're horrible if you can't figure it out. It puts you in a mindset that's absolutely ridiculous. And then when you start learning the truth of what these people in power are doing, it man, I'm going to take up way too much time. I'm going to stop right there.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal. And you ran right to the wire. Right to the wire. Let me go to Cap. We got Curtis after that. Cap, good morning, sir. We're picking up where we left off yesterday. And good morning. I hope you're doing well this morning. We're talking about the justice system, the crime that's committed, and how the justice system would penalize one group and give another group a slap on the wrist. Don't do it no more. You know that's wrong. Now go on, head on home. Tell your grandma we're coming over for dinner this weekend. Bye. Go on home and stop that. Cap, that is not justice.
But let me say this. God morning to you, Raheem, and my morning glow family. No, that's not justice. I really feel sorry, and I mean this, that white people who mean well, these are the ones that mean well,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
have to suffer the embarrassment of their white racist brothers and sisters who believe
Yeah.
that they are superior, who believe that black people is 3/5 of a human being. They believe
Mm-hmm.
that to this
Mm-hmm.
day.
Yeah.
They believe that we are the major reason this crime, and we bring in. There's some intelligent white people who are embarrassed by their own kind, and if they're not, something's wrong. It's the same, Brother Raheem. We are embarrassed. We are embarrassed by some of the actions of our own black people. Am I right?
Come
We are
on.
embarrassed.
Say it. Say it. Say it.
We're pretty embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why we don't feel as bad as white people's embarrassment is because we are embarrassed by our own kind because of the condition that Black people have come under and the mental trauma that has been placed upon us created the kind of mindset that would allow us to do the crazy madness that we're doing. Most of what Black people doing, they copying from their former master. We didn't know nothing about murder, rape, and all that. We learned that from the Caucasian man who brought us in this country under murder and rape and kidnapping. That's where we learned it from. And being under his bed for 400 years. And we picked up his wicked ways. I'm sorry. We did. Now, how do we fix this? Do you know, Raheem, there's only two realities. There's a political reality and there's the economic reality. During slavery, Black people was an economic reality. We weren't political. We was economic. We brought money. Then the Senate and the northern whites wanted to break the economic stronghold. Let's be honest. They wanted to break the economic stronghold that the South had and make money. So they introduced, what's this? A political reality.
Mm-hmm.
What was the political? See, if we can make the Blacks human, then we could use them to make more votes, and we can add them to the voting power and make them a political reality to break the South. Did you hear what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the great compromise was took place. That's how the Senate came about. And wait a minute. Today, we have to ask the question, are we an economic reality today, or are we a political reality today?
Mm-hmm.
See, which one are we strong in? Are we strong politically for America, Black people? Or are we strong still economically for white America through the prison system, making money for them? So how we have all these businesses in our Black community that's not Black, but we are making the whole world rich from the Black dollar, but we don't own and run nothing. Are we still a political reality, or are we an economic reality? That's the question that needs to ask. I hear Brother Dr. Leonard always talking about the political reality. If we vote, that's the political reality.
Mm-hmm.
But if the political reality don't become a political reality, then we will remain, listen to me, an economic reality.
Mm-hmm.
Look at our community. Is it a political reality? I'm asking y'all the question now. Or is it an economic reality? Because if it's an economic reality, we're still making people money while we don't have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If we're a political reality, then we bring it about change. Well, what is the change that our political reality should be? It should bring about a change in our community and get rid of the economic reality of the bloodsuckers who take money out of our community and don't put it back. We should be able to eliminate that. Oh, man. Are we ready to fight, Brother Tucson? I'm just getting started, man. I'm just getting started.
Okay,
That's what's on my heart, right?
good deal. Good. Well, let me throw this at you because I'm being a question asker today. So I'm gonna ask questions that I know some people that's listening may want to ask. Now, Cap, you said that we didn't know anything about the murder and the different things of that nature until we was brought to these soils. Are you suggesting that there was no murder going on in Africa before we came here?
We have never. Check out the history of the motherland,
Mm-hmm.
the diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't no murderers. We weren't no rapists.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't hear none of that. Check out the history. When you see the murder, check out the Congo.
Mm-hmm.
Leopold.
Mm-hmm.
How he went into the Congo and killed all the Africans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Check out the British. Check out the French. Check out the Portuguese. They brought murder, slavery to the motherland.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't look at the mass murderers. When you look at what happened to the Jews, they were Caucasian people, the Germans. It's the way they did their own kind. My God. Did you see that documentary of how the police in Poland had to participate and killing Jewish men, women, and children. That was their task. And one guy said, we killed 1,500 in one day and left them in the forest. And I threw up, but we had to do it. So when they went to the Hamburg trial, all they kept saying, we were following orders. Somebody can make you kill children. If we would do that to their own kind, we ain't got a chance.
Yeah.
So we look at the book, The Iceman Inheritance. Remember we mentioned that?
Yes.
The Iceman Inheritance. This is not a joke. This is white people looking at their own way of why they are such murderers, rapists, killers, and slave traders. They looking at their own actions. Don't look at us. We just a product of what you produce. You white people produce niggas. And I'm not saying that to be nasty, but that's the truth. God never produced niggas. That is a byproduct of white racism.
Wow.
I'm through.
Good deal. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input. We're talking about the crime that's being committed here in the United States of America, and how the justice system, from time to time, more times than others, would penalize one group, lock their behinds up, put them in incarcerate them, put them in jail, slap another group on the wrist, go home. Or like Tucson said earlier, if they're going to lock them up or take them through the system, they'll take them to Burger King, give them something to eat. You know, come on, let me feed you real good before you get you down there. That food ain't real good where you're going. So let me take you to Burger King. What you want? Want a Whopper? Oh, you want a large fry? Oh yeah, good. You want a strawberry shake or something? What you want? A couple apple pies? Get you 2 or 3 of them. We got you. As a matter of fact, we got this card. We'll put it on the steak. Get what you want. Kurt, talk to me, brother.
Well, brother, this is nothing but convict leasing. And it's convict leasing being targeted at one particular group, and it's being used to fuel the pockets of those who are in charge, and or those who getting kickbacks for making it legal and or appropriate. The first study I ever seen on this whole conviction/sentencing rate, it would throw us, because it was done by 2 rivalries. It was 2 males from the University of Michigan and a female from Ohio State. The female was from Florida, and the 2 males, I believe one of them was from Baltimore and one was from Michigan. They did a study on the conviction/sentencing rates and the actual crimes itself, meaning violent crime, non-violent crime, drug offenses, this, that, and the third. This was back in 2004, brother, 2004, 2005. And they found the very same things that we are talking about right now in their study. So we have several different films that we can throw out there. I'm just going to throw some films out there because I know I only got 3 minutes. So there was a film, Badger might know the name of the film because it was based out of Texas. It's it's a film based on true events where a neighborhood in Texas was being bombarded with constant police activity, in which police would plant drugs, plant all kinds of stuff, because the town was getting a kickback from the federal government for locking people up. Well, they're getting a kickback because they're doing convict leasing. Okay. I work for the Federal Bureau of Prisons. There's a what is it called? Something core. It's something core. Well, you can invest in this corporation on the stock market.
Yeah.
Them all convicts.
Yeah.
They the ones that put together cell phones, the whole nine, wallets, all of that. That's what they do for work. That's convict leasing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But there's this film that everybody needs to watch. It's based on a true story, and it's based on a young lady's story out of Texas, out of this project in Texas. There's one. There's another film that Danny Glover did called Honey Drippers.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene in Honey Drippers, straight convict leasing. Black dude walking down the street, sheriff pull him out. What you doing out here, boy? Oh man, I'm on my way down to the juke joint. Blah, blah, blah. No, you're not. You're on your way to jail. Well, what I do wrong? You walking in a white neighborhood.
Wow.
So there's all of these stories, man, that's out there that are based on true events. That University of Michigan in Ohio, the University of Michigan, Ohio State student, that was all based on the Federal Bureau of Prisons and the tracking system that governs and sentencing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They found that in every category that they looked at, a larger percentage of white men were charged with the crime, but a larger percentage of black men were convicted and or sentenced with the crime.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Stay right there, Curtis.
Now,
hold your thought. We gotta move on. Gotta keep the thing moving in the 3-minute realm. I want to hear the rest of what you got to say, so don't you go nowhere. You stay right there, brother. Captain Leonard, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem, and the MorningGlow family.
We picking up from where we left off yesterday. And right now we're talking about the incarceration rate, how the crime rate, how the numbers are different, and it's just the system that we have. In some situations, sometimes more time than others, they would slap the wrist of one person for doing something, and somebody else that come that don't look like that person would be incarcerated and placed in prisons for the same absolute thing. Now, I say all the time, y'all get upset at me. I don't care if you don't treat me right, if you don't treat me fairly, as long as you treat everybody in the same way. Not saying that I want you to treat me bad, not saying that at all, but there should be an equal justice system across the board, where if you're gonna punish one, punish all. What do you say to that? Is that what's happening here in the United States?
Yes. Based on your comments before, you're gonna have to treat me right.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just because you treat everybody bad, like you made that statement.
Yeah.
No, you're going to treat me right, and you're going to treat me fair.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Else, I'm going to rebel.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Because that's not what I bought into this system for.
Are we being treated fairly?
So that's why Excuse me?
Are we in this United States of America that we live in right now? Are people that look like you and I being treated fairly?
No.
In the justice system, okay.
No, there's still the remnants of white supremacy that allows for systemic racism to exist.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to constantly be against it and constantly be fighting it. It does not affect everyone the same way.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only difference.
Yeah.
Before, it affected everyone the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Now it does not. And it is because of the progress that we have made in the area of racism.
Mm-hmm.
And those things that have been identified. Kurt is always one that brings up the Kerner report. And so what people don't realize is that the Kerner report is what really led to a lot of the civil rights issues, is because of this. And so at that point in time, there was a particular president that wanted this legislation, but he wasn't just going to give it up. It had to be forced upon him. And he was the type of individual that he may not have wanted you sitting at his table, but there was no reason for the disparity of treatment of African Americans. All of the laws that were against us, codified in law, based on the color of our skin, is undeniable.
Mm-hmm.
It is in so many covenants across the United States, so many old laws in the United States. It's there for everyone to go and read if they would like. So this is what we are against. And we fight against that each and every day because they come up with even new ways to do it. Like, say, for instance, you will hear, we all know cigarettes are bad for you.
Mm-hmm.
However, even to this day, there are still an argument based on, quote, the cigarettes that blacks prefer,
Mm-hmm.
menthols. Now, you would think that everybody would be, yeah, let's get rid of menthols and blah. But see, that's not fair. You understand?
Yeah.
Cigarettes are still bad,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not fair to target the cigarettes that are predominantly preferred by African Americans. And so people have to understand when they say fair and equal, it's not the same concept.
Yeah.
It's just how we should be treated.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to get rid of cigarettes, if menthol cigarettes are bad for people, all cigarettes should be bad for people.
Absolutely.
Why you got to identify the menthol?
Mm-hmm.
So you come over and you use another reason for it. Well, it's targeting the kids, the good taste.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll come up with all different types of reasons to pass all different types of law. And it'll be secretly disenfranchising to this particular class.
Yeah.
African Americans in this example.
Exactly.
And so you cannot deny it if you go look.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good. Going to Tucson, then we got a couple of people that's on the phone line. I'm gonna go to them, then we're gonna circle our way back around. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking about the amount of inmates that they was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, going somewhere, and they you fit the statement, you fit the description.
That happened to you, didn't it, Tucson?
So did. I'm picking up my kid from preschool, just getting off of work. Got my family in the car, driving 54 in a 50-mile-per-hour zone. Got pulled over by my classmate in school, and they was looking for a black man in the blue car. I said, "You mean to tell me, out of all the black men with blue cars,
you gonna stop them all?"
And look, he pulled me over by gunpoint.
Wow.
I'm looking in my mirror, trying to, I'm going speeding 4 miles over the speed limit. I'm acting, I'm not gonna act crazy, but I'm tripping because you serious? And I'm looking at him. Get on, back up, put your hands on your head, back up towards me, and I'm saying to myself, I'm following instructions, but at the same time, I know I'm like, man, why you got this gun out on me? And my family's in the car, probably terrified, but I know him. I don't start no trouble. I don't make no mess.
Yeah.
So I'm steady talking. Why do you have that gun pull out on me? So everything kind of settled down because I follow instructions. I ain't gonna be tripping. I ain't gonna cut up, but I do have a voice. So he says to me, they had a murder, a little town that come out. I was coming from that direction. To make it short, Raheem, they was looking. I had a 97 Lumina. Come to find out who they were looking for, had a 70 something hatchback.
Oh Lord Jesus. Totally different vehicle.
What the heck you pulled me over for?
Yeah.
So, and I know I tried to speed it up, but when I got to make a report at the sheriff, the police department, another guy I went to school with, I
Mm-hmm.
would have pulled a gun out on you too. So it's not only
Wow.
them, unfortunately, Ryan, it's some of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then
Sadly.
I almost want to say, then drunk the Kool-Aid because blue is a fraternity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good deal. And you got 10 seconds to spare. Let me go to my phone lines and then we'll circle back around. I know some people want to say something right now, but hold on. I gotta be fair to everybody. Let me go to Stanley. Good morning, sir. How you doing? How you doing this morning? And Toy, you with a T coming to you next, sis.
Doing good. How you this morning?
Hey, doing good. We got an extension of what we talked about yesterday. We're talking about the crime that's being committed here in America, who's actually committing the most crimes, and who's being penalized, punished, incarcerated at a higher rate. Who's getting a little slap on the wrist, and who's been turn around, putting cuffs on you. Turn around, let me put these bracelets on you, and taken downtown. What do you say to that? Is our justice system just?
Well, nah, you know, the black man has always been the most hated and feared person on this earth. So we're always going to be, you know, the first ones to get locked up, to get stopped for nothing, and to get the under suspicion all the time. So yeah, it's not fair, and it'll never be fair because of the way things have been transpired over the years. They're always going to look at us as a threat,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So and white, you know, I'm not prejudiced or anything like that, but white privilege is real. You know, you can see black people doing something and white people doing the same thing, and the black people are always going to be the first one to get stopped.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
they all pull us over, you know, running your tags and, you know, checking you just to see if you got a warrant. That's why they get behind you. You know, we had a guy with a cop that was doing that years ago. He on Friday nights, you know, he would wait by certain restaurants and wait on blacks or Hispanics to come out,
Mm-hmm.
run their tag, hoping that they were DUI, hoping they had a warrant or, you know, like a missed court date or hoping their license was suspended or tag expired, you know, just something. And that goes on all over the United States.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're just targeted, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
And you would think that in this day and time, man, it's soon to be it's 2024 is right around the corner. It's knocking at the door, man. You would think we'll be past something like that and past that those things happening, but it's still reality. Stanley, it's still reality, brother.
Yeah, you can't get past it because it's like generational.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got other cops telling other cops, hey, this is how we do it. You have white families that are still prejudiced, you know, and they passing it down to their children and their grandchildren. So I got a text a couple of weeks ago about the new state patrol classes coming out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, say this new state patrol class ain't playing.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough on black folks. And it's a lot of things we're not paying attention to. I think we talked about bricks earlier in the
Yeah.
month. I believe I talked to you about it,
Yes, you did. Mm-hmm.
about how in January 2024, how the dollar is going to change, you know, in the United States. So there's a lot of things that's happening and we're not paying attention to. We're worrying about the materialistic things, and we're getting away from the real things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, people want to be divas and queens and kings and all that. We always want to feel good about ourselves and feel important about ourselves. But it's some stuff that we've got to start looking at as far as a people, you know, to get to do better things to our communities and as our people.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because there's a lot of things we're just not paying attention.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
Exactly.
not going to change because, like I say, it's the way it's set up. This system is set up for them to harass us. You know, I have family members that are law enforcement. I did law enforcement for a couple of years. It's not set up for us. It's set up to hold us back. And I tell young people all the time, try not to get on paper.
Mm-hmm.
You know, try to get straight. Try not to do anything to get you a ticket or anything or warrant or anything. Break the law because once they get you on paper and they track, They got you where they want you.
Exactly. Exactly. Stay right there, brother. Let me keep this thing going. Toy you with a T. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, good morning. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good, sis. What's on your heart about what we're talking about right now? And everybody mute your, I got some background noise coming from somebody line. Mute your line so we don't have the background noise. But Toy you with a T, what's on your heart about what we're talking about right now, man? We're talking about the incarceration, the crime. Cause we started yesterday talking about the crime rate and who commits the most crime, and it has statistics and all different things, but it pointed in a certain direction of who's committing the most crimes, but who's being incarcerated was a total different story. And so, is it that some people would commit crime, get that little slap on the wrist, go home now. You ain't supposed to be out here doing that. Go on head on home, or and tell your grandma I'm coming over to get one of them sweet potato pies she be making. Go on home.
Right.
But somebody else do the same thing or lesser, and they say turn around. We got to put these cuffs on you. We got to take you downtown. We got to book you on the arrest. Tell you what is going on with this justice system that we have, injustice system, like some people will refer to it here in the United States of America.
It only been injustice for us. I mean, I think it's people who's really driven to control. I mean, like parents don't make rules for themselves; they make rules for the kids. You understand? When you feel like you're superior, you're not making rules for yourself. You're making rules for the people that you feel are below you. So for us to be able to even look at them, they were so superior. Do you hear me? Listen, black man. The law was, if you even look at my white skin woman, I'm gonna kill you, and that was the law. I mean, I'm just saying because they feel like you're beneath them. The law wasn't for them. It's only unjust to us. But even with that, I'm sorry. I hate to have to. I'm not even going to talk of an overthrow. I'm not, because they're going to cut us off. But anyway, that's the system that we've always been in. That's the one we conform to daily. This is even the one when I committed my crime. I knew my black behind was going right on to jail. And you know what? I asked the judge which door. Because I will not be conformed. I don't care who you are. I think that our system is really in its corrupt place because we don't work the system. We let the system work us.
Come on.
We don't vote. We don't think it's important. We don't make sure that we fight and die for the land. We don't even want to listen. You don't want to build it. You want them to do it. You don't want to take care of them street poles and electricity in them streets. You want them to do it. And they take your tax dollars, squander it. They take your educational dollars and squander it. Send your kids home, and we give into this system. We run this system. We look at the wheel and keep running on it. So again, this system was always created for us black folks. Anyone outside of the superior realm, to their understanding. And as long as we continue to run in the system and not utilize it, the Constitution are bylaws that we can utilize, and we don't. Those amendments and those powers are powers that we can use to get what we want out of the system, and we don't utilize it, but they do. So again, until we learn how to utilize and work the system, which it's going to require unity. What does this you speak of? Unity. What does this you speak of? Work together and get it done. We don't have that. So until we stop forfeiting our power and giving it to other humans, we need to utilize the system for what it is and work it with the values that it maintains, and we will always be able to survive and live in a structured, I think, a structured, I don't want to say corporate style living, but I do agree with the bylaws to help us keep and maintain a positive ethical standard as we operate. And I think as long as we do that, we'll be fine.
Good deal. Badger, you wanted to say something, brother. What's on your heart?
So I looked it up, what Curtis was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And the film is called American Violet. It was a woman named Kelly versus Robertson County. where it was, I want to try to say this without much emotion, because I'm not happy about it. Um, but the ACLU got involved, and it was proven. Let me actually read. Um, I gotta find it. Hold on. That they were planting evidence solely in the African American community, and 15 people fought this. And the part that makes me sick is it was a settlement agreement that was done in private that's not even on public records. And the head people that were in charge, John Paschall, not sure how you pronounce that, was able to continue running for office until 2012 before
Mm.
he absolute bare minimum for playing a role with his power to convict innocent people.
Wow.
Um, and they settled this behind closed doors, not even public record. Um, it's and this was in 2005
Mm-hmm.
when
Not
the
too long
settlement
ago.
agreement was finally done.
Yeah, not too long ago.
2005, not
Yeah,
even 20 years ago,
yeah.
not even.
Mm-hmm.
And if this don't get people to wake up, I don't know what could, because this isn't the only place. This happens in a lot of different places,
Mm-hmm.
and it's done behind closed doors.
Yeah.
They get to keep their positions, and then they wonder why our black brothers and sisters are mad.
Mm-hmm.
Th- this is the reason.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't even 20, like not even 20 years ago.
Exactly.
Why? What? The fact they were allowed to keep their positions of power and were happy about just doing a settlement agreement, and at least those 15 people didn't go to jail. They were released.
Mm-hmm.
For 5 years they had to fight this, putting kids through all this nonsense and torture of not knowing if their mother or father is going to be thrown in jail off on fake charges that were planted, and it was
Mm-hmm.
proven, and they just do a settlement agreement behind closed doors, and none of the people that did it had to go to jail.
And see, and I know when you said what you said, it wasn't from a bad place. It was actually from a place of love. But there's a lot of people out there that would have that same idea. Or thinking about the movie, talking about a movie, well, Life. When a guy said, well, at least the state of Mississippi got 30 years or whatever term it was of good service out of them or whatever. And to hear somebody say, and again, Badger, I'm not pointing this at you at all because I know you didn't come in this way. Your comment came from a place of love, but sometimes it's not coming from a place of love. They said, well, at least they didn't go to jail. Well, at least they get locked up. But you
Oh, dude,
inconvenience
that
these
didn't.
people. Now, I know
Uh,
you didn't. I know you didn't mean it
no,
like
no,
that.
no.
No,
I said that
Badger,
not coming
Badger,
from
let me
me.
finish my thought, brother. Let me
Okay.
finish my thought. My thing is this right here. To have somebody to say something like that, at least they didn't go to jail. At least they didn't get locked up. What about the inconvenience you put them and their family and everybody else through? What about them having to deal with the pain and the suffering that they had to go through in order to get quote unquote justice in something that they didn't even have to fight it, shouldn't have to have had to fight at all? What about what you did to these people? Yeah, they didn't get locked up. Yeah, they didn't go to prison. Yeah, they didn't go to jail. But at the same time, look at what they did go through. Look at what they had to endure. Go ahead, Badger. Real quick to finish your thought. You had your 3 minutes.
So
Got to go somewhere else.
when I made that comment, I was referencing what they were saying,
Yeah, yeah,
not what I would say.
yeah, exactly. That's what I say.
Um,
It didn't come from you like not like that. I acknowledge that.
yeah,
Go ahead.
okay. And I just find it sickening that these
Hmm.
people were able to keep their positions, and mm,
Stay right there, Badger. Stay right there. Let me keep going. Cassandra, we're gonna go Cassandra, Leonard, Cap. Then we're gonna go Tucson. We're gonna circle our way back around. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
Yeah, I when I worked in the federal prison system for about 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
and this is what I was saying a little earlier. When you consider the crack, uh, cocaine disparity, how that was working,
Mm-hmm.
and how the people that were doing the cocaine was getting less time than the people that were doing the crack. And let's just make it plain. Uh, in 2010, Obama was the one that brought that out and put that law in place. And a lot of the young men that I was working with in the prison system, a lot of them got to go home because
Yeah.
they had served so much time in the system compared to their white counterparts that, I mean, it's several of them right now that I'm still connected to. They still contact me.
Mm-hmm.
And it hurt me that they had spent so much time in prison for the same drug. Basically, we know that crack they add stuff to it. It's more important, but it's cocaine.
Yeah.
You understand? So that one right there always bothered me, and I felt so bad for the young men that had served all that time, and probably 98% of them were black men,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
young black men.
Yeah.
So our system has always treated black people wrong. Point blank, bottom line. Anybody that say it ain't true, that's a lie. You fooling yourself if
Yeah.
you think that we have not been treated differently than our white counterparts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sadly mistaken. And you can have good lawyers and be a black man and still go, you know what I'm saying, go to jail or get harder time. And I've seen that as
Mm-hmm.
well, working in the prison system for all these years. But I just I don't know. I don't know what's going to. I don't know what is going to cause this country to treat people equal and just.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Ain't nobody asking you to give us no, do us no favor, but
Yeah.
can you treat us justly
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and
Exactly.
equal? That's the only thing I'm saying.
Exactly. Exactly. And I know TikTok, I'm not able to get to each one of your comments because I'm multitasking over here, but you can definitely give us a call, 508-924-3521, 508-925. We definitely love to have your input. Again, 508-924-3521. Let me see who I said I was going to go to next. Captain Leonard, talk to me. Then Cap coming to you. Then we're going to Tucson. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
I think that, people are saying, what we're going to do, what we're going to do. We know what we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is you won't do it.
Mm-hmm.
This problem really started back after the Civil War. And the powers that be allowed those rebellious individuals to still hold their positions of power.
Mm-hmm.
The federal government at one point was still stationed in the South to oversee, so to speak, certain things.
Mm-hmm.
However, they did never take the power away from those sympathizers. And to this day, they still allow these people to hold positions of power. So you will never get rid of it as long as you allow the people that sympathize with it to be in power. You could get rid of it completely by eliminating all of the white people.
Wow.
If there were no white people in power, you would see equality. But however, in the United States, we are trying to reconcile together because the ideal of our Constitution is what pushes us to a more perfect union. And it is for us to live and coexist together this way. And that is unlike other places. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Africa, for instance, they don't want no white people in power, period. They don't have a constitution like ours. So they're living up to their ideas as a nation. American idealism, there's nothing wrong with it. If you eliminate racism, you come a lot closer to a perfect union amongst those people living here.
Mm-hmm.
We still have to have a law that says that the states can't create laws that refute federal law. Our protections come from federal law,
Yeah.
not state law.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you take a stance against states' rights. There are certain states prior to the abolition of slavery and even a little bit after that you couldn't even be in if you were black.
Mm-hmm.
Go look it up. I think Oregon is one of them.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of states. They didn't want you there if you was black.
Utah, I think, was one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is history. And this is why they don't want you to teach it. See, because you have to look at how we got here, and the evidence is plain in your face on how we got to where we are now. There are certain members still of the Ku Klux Klan in seats of governorship. They on school boards. They sheriffs of police departments all across the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what these reports have shown.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when we're out here, go ahead.
Good deal. Appreciate that, Leonard. Appreciate that. We're gonna keep this thing going. Somebody on TikTok said that and I know a lot of y'all know about this individual. I heard some talk about him as well, but White Boy Rick. They say they grew up with White Boy Rick. If any of y'all know the story about White Boy Rick, he became one of them anyway.
Out of Detroit. Rick out of Detroit.
Yeah. You know, yeah. That's why, yeah, exactly. That's the one. Cap, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart?
Well, I want to just keep us into some real historical facts. And I want us to just do it absent of emotion, because we can't get emotional. The reality has always been in the founding of America, we were never included in the Constitution. It was only the great compromise. It was to break the South from the economic hope that slaves brought, enriching white people.
Mm-hmm.
So the North wanted to break that. So the North wanted a political hope. So the North thought, well, we can get the blacks. But then the South said they shadowed slavery. They like property. They like animals. So then the whites in the North said, well, you know what? We're going to make them 3/5 of a human being.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we need. Just to make them 3. That's what that 3/5 was. They had to remove us from shadow slavery, property like cattle, and then give us 3/5 as being a human being so that we can have somewhat voting power. Now, let's be very clear. Everything right now, as we talked about, is economics and politics.
Mm-hmm.
When brother, my man Curtis was talking, he was talking economics.
Yeah.
Because in the prison system, we make money. When Sister Sandra was talking about the RICO Act and the crack, that was economics. Get us to flood the prison system. Again, we make them money. Why? Because white people are now investing in the prison system, so we make money. Give them crime, get them in a joint. So that's economics. Again, everything is economic. Where is the political reality? That's what I keep hearing Leonard. The political reality is shadow. Because if we can make the political reality strong, we can kill the economic reality. We can stop being tools and fools for the advancement of another people. But if you look at the political judges, the federal judges, They have a racist mind. They do believe that black people are 3/5 of a human being. They would never give us justice if they look at us the same way the white racists look at us. I don't care if you're a judge or whoever you are. If you believe that Negroes is inferior, but you're a judge, you're never going to rule with justice for us.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't change the mindset of a federal judge or a state judge if most of them have a white racist mentality. Here we go. We're in trouble again because they have white privilege. They live in gated communities. They don't see us as friends. They see us as foes. This is in order for them to justify their lifestyle. They want to justify their lifestyle. They don't want to deal with the reality. Look here, that 379 years, listen to me, black people, for 379 years, we were in physical bondage. We were slaves. I'm going to say that again. 379 years.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be able to bring a people from that kind of trauma and no one is not going to bring from that trauma in 200 years. If we were slaves for 379 years, and look, we only 175 years from freedom.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We got a long way to go. Don't be mad, but the struggle is still on. We still got to ask the question. Ask the question. When you make your answer with Brother Raheem, are you talking about the political reality of black people, or you are talking about the economic reality, how we make people rich in our condition? Are you talking about the power we have politically? How we able to arrest Donald Trump, the sister, judge, the political moves we making? Make sure when you talk, which one are you talking about? The political reality of black people or the economic reality? Which one is stronger? Which one is stronger? We got to answer that question because we have to address our own problems. And let me say this, we're just as critical as black people's aspect of their life are we are white. I want to say very clear. We're just as critical as our own as we are with you.
Mm-hmm.
Are we dealing with a political reality where we're strong, or are we strong in an economic reality that's being taken advantage of? Those are the questions I like to say. Let's talk about that.
Okay. Tucson, what do you say to that? What do you say what Captain has brought to the table? Tucson, you there? Tucson, wake up and go to sleep. Wake up and go to sleep. Let me go to I think we just lost Toy. I think we just lost Toy UNT. Hopefully she'll call back in a second or two. But Curtis, talk to me. What do you feel about what Cap just said?
What Cap just said is spot on. And the reality, in my opinion, is we're living in both. But I'm gonna speak about the power of the 3/5, just to bring some folks to some form of enlightenment. You know, you got to be a powerful group of folks that they can say that even three of y'all, if I'm doing the math right, my math might be wrong, but five of y'all, three of y'all equals one person.
Yeah.
And still sway the vote. So out of every five, three people count as one vote.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
Or three people count as one economic system, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying 3 out of 5 people count as one economic system. I asked myself, well, how many of us was actually here? That even 3 mattered to state a level of power. But I'm gonna also go to I'm gonna go back to the convict leasing thing and this, that, and the third, right? Okay, I have a client right now as we speak who wakes up every day and is directly connected to the Mid-Atlantic crisis up there in Pennsylvania. For those of y'all that don't know what that is, the judges up there was getting paid to send young juveniles
Yeah.
to jail, and they was giving out unsurmountable amounts of time. I think some of y'all remember it. We presently have 4 judges around America that are serving more than 20 years. Notice I said more than 20 years. I didn't say 20 years. I think one judge got a total amount of 159 years. He had been sending young black boys to prison for 20 plus years consistently for the last 30 years. To address Leonard's comments, which was so true, but I'm going to take it further. Dog, we trying, man. I swear people trying, man. But when you look at such things as August 1985, August 1995 in Philadelphia, when they blew up that whole block, when you look at things such as the assassination of Dr. King, the assassination of Malcolm X, the assassination of Medgar Evers, the disenfranchisement of those who have tried to push things forward and have moved things forward, when you look at the disenfranchisement and the assassinations, at some point people are going to say, man, hold on, man. Is this really worth it?
So are you suggesting in a roundabout way that people has become fearful to take that step?
I'm not fearful. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
No.
That's why I'm asking a question. I'm a question asker.
People have become tired, man. And that's why we have a younger population of folk between the ages of 23 and 37 that ain't taking it no more. It's like, oh, I sent you that, I sent it to you text.
Yeah, I got it.
Raheem, so you got it?
Yeah.
But, so, I think that's why old girl out of Ohio, I think it was Ohio. No, was it Ohio or was it Minnesota? The black girl. The Monopoly, the girl that explained everything going on through Monopoly. I think y'all remember because she went viral. They had on all the news stations and everything when she explained what we're going through from the perspective of the game of Monopoly. I think you have a population of 23 to 37-year-olds that, real talk, they ain't taking it.
Good deal.
And they got as much guns as possible. When we talk right here, let me end right here. When we talk about the discrimination and the privilege, for those listeners that don't understand, I'm going to say this to you. This is actual factual, taken from actual numbers by the Southern District of New York's Attorney General's office. Our last president inflated his property values to $1.6 billion. The actual value, the actual assessed value, meaning Raheem, Badger, Cap, Leonard, Cassandra, myself, as assessors went in, looked at the property, looked at what the market value is, and this, that, and the third, assessed his properties at $629 million.
Yeah.
That man overflated his properties by roughly 56 to 57%.
Good deal. Got to keep it moving, Kurt. Got to keep it moving.
Do that.
Absolutely. Let me go to hold on, who I say it's gonna be. Oh, Stanley. Stanley, talk to me, brother. I know you got it on your heart right now. Talk to me. Stanley, you there? Okay, Stanley may have stepped away for a second. Tucson, talk to me, brother.
No, you know what? I think that I don't know if I missed some of the conversation, but what I caught the tail end of what Kurt was talking about. And if you, it's kind of like a manipulation. If you keep me poverty stricken, where you make the neighborhoods unaffordable to me, you just about push me into the hood and not a neighborhood. Make me stay in the project.
Yeah.
Because when I go to apply for a house and somebody else go apply for a house, if I don't sound like Billy Bob, you make the interest rate higher.
Mm-hmm.
Or you make the house, um, you put it in a position where I can't afford it. So I gotta go back to the hood.
Mm-hmm.
And then you throw these drugs out there. Because I ain't got no plane and I don't have no ship
Mm-hmm.
to haul tons of the drug industry that some of these lawyers and judges and politicians own the property of the cocoa fields. I don't own none.
Mm-hmm.
You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the system is bigger than we think it is, but it's just to the point where ain't nobody getting arrested for it. How can you over and over again have a war on crime, a war on drugs, and you never win it?
Mm-hmm.
Because when some people go to trial because of who they are, really they running the drug industry from prison already because they in the what you call it federal prison system, and so you're not doing no hard labor. You got a TV and a cell phone and internet service in your cell. Now, if you're not in the cell, you're in a room.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought about that, man. It just puts us in a place where we keep them down.
Yeah.
Since
Yeah.
since I got my foot on you, then I'm gonna keep my foot on you,
Mm-hmm. Somebody said
so
back in
that you talk about pull yourself up by the bootstrap and you barefooted.
mm-hmm. Wow. Somebody said in history, y'all might know who it is, said that in order for you to keep me down, you gotta be down here to hold me down. You gotta be down here with me, holding me down. Otherwise, I'm getting up.
Mm,
In order for you to in order for you to
definitely.
in order for you to keep me down, you gotta be down here with me. You gotta be down here holding me down here. Otherwise, I'm getting up. I'm getting up. And that's just what it is. Badger, talk to me. Leonard, come to you next.
I mean, it's everything's valid points, and it's disturbing to think, uh, on top of everything else that we have to fight in this country, we're still having to fight this,
Mm-hmm.
having to fight. There is so much corruption, and that's the thing. When I laugh sometimes just to keep from going crazy, because there's people fighting racism, there's people fighting disability rights, there's people fighting for veteran rights, and so on, right? The list like just keeps going. What do we all have in common?
Mm.
The same corrupt human beings. Oh, look, here's this politician. He wants to fight for veteran rights. And then you find out he signs a bill that goes against it. Why should we be reelecting him? Why don't we, follow the procedures to get him out of that seat?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the same thing goes for the other fights, because I haven't heard of a politician, and if anyone on the line knows of one, I'd like to learn about them, that actually stands for all the things that we talk about instead of just one.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they
Exactly.
pick one and that's all they go along with. But if you follow them, most of the time they're not. They'll create one or two bills, and the rest of them they'll vote against.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for real. So where are we in our country that people don't seem to get? We're fighting the same enemy. We are. Period.
Mm-hmm.
I fight for disability rights and against racism in Texas all the time. But
Well,
when I talk to other people around me, they always just want to stick to one thing, and I'm like, yeah, but we're fighting the same enemy. Why can't we just work together?
mm-hmm.
Why is that so hard?
30 seconds. Mm-hmm.
So, and if anyone has any ideas of why people make it so hard, I'd love to hear that too, because I don't get it.
Mm-hmm. Wow, good deal, good deal. Leonard, talk to me. And man, our brother Rico done came back. I ain't even see him on there. He done snuck in on us. So Rico, coming to you next, brother. Leonard, what's on your heart?
You know, just listening, everybody has a different point of view.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily. I'm more of an administrative type person. So, you know, I don't criticize everything the same way. So I'm looking more at behavior and things of that nature. That to me is separate from critical race theory.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people who believe that they are always going to be less than.
Wow.
And that's a personal problem.
Mm.
I don't mix
is that defeatist attitude
with governance.
Is that a defeatist?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yes, there are some people who will never believe that they were ever able to do anything outside of white folks.
Wow.
That's not my community.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't represent that. So I'm more about those things that actually disenfranchise African Americans, as opposed to how African Americans feel about their situation.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't care about how you feel about your personal situation.
Mm-hmm.
As a governor or a leader, I have to balance all of those things that are granted by the Constitution. And it doesn't, and part of that task is not making you feel better about your situation.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll never get close to the strategy of the enemy if you never believe that you can win. I don't represent losers.
Mm-hmm.
If you have already accepted the position that you are inferior, you can keep it as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
I don't represent you. You can't go out and behave like an a-hole and then turn around and blame your actions on white people.
Mm-hmm.
And too many in the community are caught up in that narrative, which is the reason why they won't come out and actually, like Toya hinted on, use what it is you have to make it better for you and your people. I can't stop you from smoking crack if that's what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to do that. Because one, if I'm sitting next to you and you doing all this, that, and the other, and I'm not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, Leonard, I'm gonna give you maybe about another minute. I want you to respond to this right here. How do you get one past that mindset, or get them out of that mindset when they've been quote unquote programmed to think that way?
Well, it depends. If they don't want to, you can't.
Mm. Wow.
But see, when people want to operate in wickedness, they have no problem.
Mm-hmm.
They have no problem at all.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So what we have in common is that we all, like our ancestors and those people who fought for our rights, we didn't fight for the right to feel better. We fought for the right to be given the same things that were promised to other men.
Mm. Wow.
Not to make me feel better or feel a certain way, but that no, I don't care if you don't like me. I have a right to do this, that, or the other.
And truth of the matter, truth of the matter, Leonard, this country has broken a whole lot of promises, brother.
Exactly, just like people have broken promises.
Mm-hmm.
So if you continue to try to separate yourself from the human condition of being corrupt, you will be just as corrupt until you decide on a better moral way of living. There are some people who do not care about big houses, fancy cars, and all this type of thing. I know people who would rather steal than work.
Yeah, good deal. And that's true.
I'm not going to deny them that.
Okay, stay right there, Leonard. We got to keep this thing moving. On 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. I'm just gonna say this, and we'll move on. 40 acres and a mule. Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I ain't doing too good, but I'm calling in just for a little distraction. You know what I'm saying?
Everything all right?
Yeah, I shouldn't even be up. I ain't nothing to talk about. Same old mess with the same old monster.
Okay,
but that's a different story.
Well, what we're talking about this morning, I'm gonna hit you up later on too. But what we're talking about this morning is this right here, man. We're talking about the crime. Who commit the most crimes? Who commit the most crimes here in America? It's an extension of the show that we did yesterday, and the young lady, she brought statistics about who commit the most crime, blah 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 blah, and she put the numbers on that. Then she said who's incarcerated the most, and that didn't line up with who's actually committing the most crimes. So I'm asking the question: Is there a situation, or is there a situation where some people will commit a crime, get a slap on the wrist, go home, tell mama, tell your grandmama, come on, I get one of my sweet potato pies, and somebody else commit a crime that don't look like them, they look more like you and I, and they say turn around, you're under arrest, and they put them cuffs on them, take them downtown. Is there any justice? Is there any balance in this justice system that we have in America?
No, we already know it ain't no balance in none of these systems. You know, you say it's a continuation of yesterday, but it's actually a continuation of the day before yesterday too, because if you pay attention to that video that you played, where that woman talked about being economic slaves.
Yeah.
They created an economic system. Who were they? The same people that created poverty. You know, I like what Cap said earlier, man, because it goes all the way back to the beginning of what made America become what America is, and that is the richest, most dominant superpower on the planet. They did it on the backs of human beings, human trafficking. And so that lets you know that their intention was to use human bodies for the benefit of their best interests. And once human rights and started spreading around the world, and people started saying, we ain't gonna shop with y'all because we see what y'all doing to them black people over there. We hear about the chattel slavery stuff. They said, well, you know what? These people waking up, they rebelling, they trying to hold us to their word about the Constitution. Let's continue to move the ball, like Donald Toussaint like to say. They like to move the ball. And to continue moving the ball so they can continue to maintain this system that made America as great as it is, even though they didn't stand by their word, they create another system, which is supplemented by another system, which is supplemented by another system. And we want to be a part of all of them. We want to be a part of it. And the thing is you start asking a question, because we know that your crime, the sentencing guidelines, they don't match up. The crack laws, COINTELPRO, how people get certain time, affluenza, bias, inflation. You know, I say all the time, there's no righteous justification for inflation. The only thing that could justify inflation is greed.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that justifies inflation is greed, not demand, because a lot of stuff gets thrown out, wasted. So we ask ourselves, you know, how do we stop helping these systems that actually help the original system continue to succeed? And it's by you having minimum participation, like the Amish, like the Muslim Brotherhood. You know, because it's hard. You see, you know, when that woman said that on that video about the birth certificate, if you can't get a birth certificate, you can't work. And so now we'll trick people into voluntarily introducing themselves into economic slavery. Why? Because we want access. Oh, without money, you can't go to the doctor. Oh, without money, you can't buy these expensive shoes. Oh, without money, you can't pay your bills. If you without a birth certificate, you can't get a job to get the money.
Yep.
So it's all these systems that they continue to create that we want to be a part of, and then you go and look at the other statistics. Not only are we being sentenced at a higher
30
rate
seconds.
for the same crimes, but we also doing a lot of the more consuming and wasteful spending. So why does it continue to succeed? Because we contribute to it so much. We are so codependent on it. We won't end, you know, and so it gets to a point where the only way we will be able to wake up out of this, because some of the people, you know, what the last person said about the program, some people, some people don't want to admit that they're economic slaves, and some people don't realize it. Some people like it. But the thing is once you could quit overindulging and making yourself so codependent on the wasteful things that these systems have you demanded on them, maybe you can just concentrate on the things that you need to participate in.
Good deal.
For your best interest.
Absolutely. Stay right there, Rico, if you can, man. We're going to keep this thing going. We're going to circle our way back around. I want to go right now to Cassandra. Cassandra, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Cassandra, though we hate or we have a strong dislike of this system and how it's put out there and how it's presented to us, are we, like Rico said, are we contributing? Are we buying into it in the way that we spend our money and the things that we do? Are we really supporting the system? I guess would be a better question.
Well, I guess, yeah, but okay, so let me just be transparent for me, okay? So I'm retired, right? Retired early at 62, and what I get in retirement does not sustain me for a month, because you think about paying for an apartment, paying for whatever. So I have had gotten help with SNAP. And that's the TV the news show that I did a couple of days ago was about how that benefit, if they shut down, how it would affect me and 700 and something thousand people that are getting SNAP, right? So you can say that I'm playing into the system or whatever by getting SNAP, but for me and a lot of other people on fixed incomes, we need that. You understand what I'm saying? I've worked hard. I've worked since I was 11 years old. So whatever I get, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's okay. And I don't feel bad about it. And I'm not ashamed of it because I've always worked hard and I still work hard, So I don't know whether it's playing into it, but I feel like if people have a need, that we should have programs to help those people. The homeless people that I deal with, it hurts my heart to see them under the bridges, and I'm going and taking them, personal care items and food, and, that should not be in this country. But guess what? If they're going to get out of it, it's going to take some type of social program to help them get out of it. So, that's my take on it. If it's necessary, I'm not talking about generational welfare people. I'm not talking about that. That ain't trying to do nothing and trying to do no different. I'm talking about people that legitimately have needs, the poor that have needs, the low income, the seniors that have needs that these programs meet. Absolutely. So, I'm just being real on me. So I may have bought into the system.
Wow. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Kurt, I'm gonna ask you this question. Kurt, you still with us? Kurt, you there?
Did you say me right here?
Yes. Kurt, and this has
nothing. I'm right here. I'm listening to everything.
Okay, this has nothing to do with what Cassandra just said, but I want to ask you this question. And it's partially off topic a little bit, and I know it is, but I want to throw the question out there. What did how did the welfare system hurt or help or hurt our people.
How did the welfare system?
Yes, help
Well, the
or hurt our
welfare
people.
system was not designed for our people.
Exactly.
That's number one.
Exactly.
It was
Exactly.
never designed for
Thank
our
you.
people.
Thank
Exactly.
you. Thank you.
And when my sister say that you bought into the system, you did buy into the system.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you bought in. You paid your doggone FICA, ain't it? We
Mm-hmm.
still don't know who FICA is. Somebody tell me who FICA is. Where he come from? That I gotta pay him money out my check.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You paid into Medicare. You paid for somebody else's Medicare. So yeah, you did buy into a system that you deserve to have your Medicare paid.
Mm-hmm.
Because you paid for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, listen, the welfare queen never hit. Okay. The idea of the welfare queen being black never hit America until 1982.
Mm-hmm. Say it.
1982, the election of Ronald Reagan brought about the black welfare queen.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the studies, over the years, you want me to tell you what the biggest fraud in SNAP was?
What's that?
The biggest fraud in SNAP was done right there in New York City. Italians owned the store. They had done hit SNAP for well over $15 million.
Mm. Mm.
It hit the news and it went right out. You know, sometimes I get a little thrown. Sometimes when I hear black folk, especially black folk, brown folk, any minority in this country talk about I don't want a handout.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody handing you nothing.
Yeah.
That's what you owe.
Yeah.
You're owed that.
Paying a debt.
The idea that don't nobody owe you nothing is cracker-knackle bull crap. This country owes you plenty.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm one of them I'm trying to get mine.
Yeah.
Because see, I can trace my family back. I'm trying to get mine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got a call, Rahimi. I got a call J4 yesterday, right? My student loans is coming in right at about $71,000, right? Now, I thank God that that's all I got, because I know people that's got $150,000, $200,000 student loans.
Yeah.
Tell you how much BS. I got a call that said if I pay $190 7 months in a row, that my student loans would be completely forgiven. That's what the $100. That's what the $190 for 7 months will pay.
What's that?
The interest. Which means the government done figured out that your actual loan, don't worry about that. We ain't got to worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
We want that interest payment.
Yeah.
So they can literally cut it down to my interest payment on 71,000 is $6,289 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they said if I pay them the 6,000, right? If I pay them the 6,000, I wipe out my loan.
Wow.
I'm just saying, brother.
Yeah, it's a racket, brother. It is a racket. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input. Cap, talk to me. Stanley, coming to you next.
Well, I think that we are going down a road that needs to go down, where we had, pretty much beat up on the white racists in this sick, twisted, perverted mind to believe that we are the cause of their demise, and to believe that we are the number one killers, murderers, and rapers, to believe that we're the ones who are dominating the jails because we are the criminals. I think we have addressed the sickness of those Caucasian racist minds that believe that with actual facts. Now, let me move on to my concern. You cannot let no one treat you any way they want to treat you and let you allow it. So now what are we going to do? We know that they have a target on our back. We know that they try to take advantage of us and our ignorance and our division and our disunity for economic gain. We know that. We can talk about that all day long. But what are we going to do as a people to stop being a tool and a fool for these white racist people? What are we going to do, Leonard? I like what Rico said. What are we going to do, fellas, to stop it? That we as a people can start addressing our own problems so that we don't become a tool for them. How do we stop the economic hemorrhage where you can make a 1-cent hamburger and put it in the black community, a burger that was made in the lab, and you sell it to us, and we line up like planes on a runway for a 1-cent burger that has been in the lab? How do you stop our crazy people from being used like that? We got jobs to do, so we have to go, and we can't quit. To do nothing is not an option, y'all. As crazy as it may be, we have to unite. Don't go on social media. Don't come on these shows. Get behind closed doors and get busy to correct our crazy people's behavior. And be clear, we're not going to be able to save everybody.
Exactly.
We're not going to be able to save everybody. So you ain't going to leave the preacher out of it. I'm sorry, church. You're not going to be left out of this. We're not going to leave the barbershop. No, you're not going to be left out of this. Muslims, you're not going to be left out of this. We're not going to leave nobody out of this that has something to do in lending a hand and getting us. So if you want to take the political piece, Leonard, I'm with you on the political piece. If you want to lead in an economic piece, Brother Curtis, I'm with you on the economic piece. We got to come together and stop talking about what they doing to us and start talking about how we allow them to do it to one another. That's where I'm at. That's what's on my heart, Raheem.
Hey, good deal, good deal. Stanley, we're coming to you. Rico, coming to you next, brother. Stanley, what's on your heart?
Well, you might not be able to hear me, man. I'm on the road on my way to the doctor, but I think a lot of this is here we're talking about people letting certain things happen. There's a lot of folks out there on drugs and homeless and different things that they didn't choose to do that. You know, you got a lot of women that was hooked on drugs because guys were trying to take advantage of them sexually. You have a lot of guys that are hooked on drugs because people flip certain things to them just to see their reaction. So there's a lot of variables to this thing. And I think overall as a people, if we come together, we can change some things. But a lot of folks, and I believe we talked about this before, a lot of folks have gotten to a level where they're comfortable with what they have and they don't really care that or not. They're in that mindset, I've got mine, you got to get yours on your own. And we've got to change that mindset and try to get people to come together as a whole and try to make changes. So you got some folks, they're good where they are. They don't look back. They made it. They don't look back at their community. They don't look back at their family. So until we become one and try to help everybody, but we have to be on the same page. You can't just have folks, well, I got mine, you get yours, or saying, folks, I'm better than you, or you're beneath me because I'm driving a Mercedes and you drive a Ford. You know, so.
Exactly. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. I think our Stanley will hit a bad spot because he kind of stopped on us there. So hopefully, you know, he said he's traveling, so he may have hit a bad spot. But Rico, what do you say to that, brother? What is it going to take, or do you think a lot of people are even interested in coming together and fighting, uniting and fighting this system together?
Oh man, a lot of people are until you start talking about them sacrificing something that they love or they're addicted to. You know, sort of, like going back to what Cassandra was saying, sometimes we do need to participate. And if we don't have a birth certificate, if we don't play the game the way that they want us to play it, we won't be able to participate in the things that we need these systems for.
Mm-hmm.
So sooner or later, you'll end up having to sacrifice and give up some things, like keeping a man out the house. Oh, you want these benefits? We'll give them to you, but you gotta take that pappy and don't let him be in there when we come do this inspection. You gotta give up something. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I gave up trying to get visitation with my son and getting the judicial system and family courts involved?
What's that?
They gave me less access.
Mm.
They told me I can only see my son once a week for 2 hours on a Saturday. Hot the mighty. I shouldn't have
Mm.
even got involved with them, they system. But I needed some help.
Mm-hmm.
All
Mm.
these systems. See, every system that's in place, somebody runs it.
Yeah.
And it has the original plan behind it. So you look at the prison system, the sentencing disparity. You look at affluenza. You look at all these different things, man, and it comes back to, man, I got to limit my participation in this system. But you know what's going on, man? Americans are addicted and under the influence of the lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then after I hear the statistics that black people are the most wasteful spenders, that means we addicted the most.
Mm-hmm.
We can't wait to be integrated so we could be a part of this American dream. The lifestyles of the rich and famous gonna keep you tied up in now.
Mm-hmm.
Because then sooner or later you want to participate in all the extravagance and all the finer things and all the convenience. And you don't want to grow your food, you rather buy it. And you want to buy the best food and the best clothes, best linens, best
Mm-hmm.
shoes, alligator, ostrich.
Mm-hmm.
I want the finest cars. That's my ideal success. So we're addicted to that. But if we only participated in these systems on a need to basis, like the Amish, then we wouldn't be the wasteful spenders, but we would still probably be the most, I'm going to say, we would probably have more in the coffers.
Exactly. 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If there was ever a need for those coffers to become necessary in this game of Monopoly or whatever system. They say money could pay for anything. If money does pay for anything, it got R. Kelly off the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But then him asking for the rest of his money got him locked back up. See, they could take it from you too when you try to participate and play their game. Oh, I'm gonna play that game to get in and be in. I want to be a part of that system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, less participation and less. I'm gonna say minimal participation. I want to participate on a need to basis because some of the things we do need access to, even with healthcare,
Mm-hmm.
that's even necessary.
Exactly. Exactly. We got a few more minutes before we get out of here. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. If you want to be a part of the conversation, please give us a call. Badger, talk to me.
Well, sitting here listening, especially about the economic, and I always talk about something that a lot of people get upset about, and it's the way this corrupt capitalism works. We just end up in this vicious cycle over and over and over again because businesses just keep upping the prices all the time. Every time minimum wage goes up, anytime Social Security goes up, or anything like that, all of a sudden healthcare goes up, food costs go up, rent goes up, and everything else, and it's just the same old cycle over and over again. But but capitalism's the best thing in the world, but it's ran by corrupt human beings.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that's something that the American people fight over so bloody hard, and some have been able to figure it out to where they have enough just to get by and all that stuff. Some that sacrifice being with their families to work 2, 3 jobs to make sure they get ahead. And that's deemed acceptable
Mm-hmm.
to work that much, because that's the American dream, is to work so much you don't even truly get to spend time with your family.
Wow. Ain't that sick?
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just, some things I've just come to learn to accept, that we live in a whitewashed world that's been ran by kings and queens and dictators for hundreds of years. And
Mm-hmm.
people, for some reason, in the general public, love living that way.
Wow. Wow. Again, 50892435 21508924352. We're gonna go in this order right here. We're going to go. Let me see where I just left off. Let's go to our Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart? We're going to Tucson, Kurt, Leonard, Cassandra, and then Cap. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother? Tucson, you there? Okay. Let's keep this thing going. Tucson may be occupied right now. Kurt, talk to me.
Well, you hear me say this all the time, and I'll say it again. I know some people on this panel might be tired of hearing me say it. Capitalism without a conscience is corruption.
Mm-hmm.
See, you got a segment in our society, you have a segment of leaders that believe, for example, in free markets. In my opinion, a free market is, I can charge you whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who don't believe in that, nobody can actually justify while we're paying $5 a gallon for gas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nobody can justify that. That the price you're paying per gallon of gas does not even remotely match the price they're paying per barrel.
Mm-hmm.
It don't match up,
Mm-hmm.
right? But we allow for people to speculate on what it is. Now, the sad reality is the speculations that are being made in the African American community is a false equivalency. The reason I say that is because here's the playbook. Simple. Devalue the community, devalue the property, devalue. Devalue the property, but all at the same time you have measures in place that these very same people that you're devaluing cannot even purchase at a devalued rate. While all at the same time you're laying in bed with these corporate structures and these corporate entities who can actually afford to buy devalued property in bulk.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens? They buy devalued property in bulk. They put a price on it you can't afford, so you got to move out. And then they sell in the meanwhile, they're selling at an astronomical rate, at an astronomical price, a price that you can't even afford. And if you could afford it, only way you're going to get one is unless you buy 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
See, there's a whole lot of things that is going on that will devalue our community as a whole. The system is built around the devaluation of the African American and Latino brown folk community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Devalue their property and never talk about the value of their people. You can
20
keep
seconds.
them working, you can keep them docile, you can keep them buying into a system that in all reality is completely and utterly rigged.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's just my opinion.
Good deal. And Leonard, if that be the case, what do we need to do? What do we need to do collectively? If they're not valuing us, why do we keep running to them for their approval?
Well, first of all, I don't know. I don't know why y'all do it. You need to talk to somebody that does that.
Ain't no y'all. Ain't no y'all, brother. Ain't no y'all.
Well, I'm just saying, no, there is.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are a lot of people who don't live like you live.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot, like I said before, I don't need no daddy.
Mm-hmm.
People talk about what they don't have. I don't want everybody to have the same thing. I don't buy into that foolishness at all.
Mm-hmm.
I believe marriage is worth what it is worth. There are some people that don't want to work as hard as other people. Why would a doctor become a doctor if he only getting his pay as much as the man that pick up the trash?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense to you?
No.
You do not have to go to the doctor if you do not want to.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to participate in this system if you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
But what you should not be doing is, in order to make yourself feel better, your answer is to oppress other people.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you even think that way if you're so against someone oppressing you?
Mm-hmm.
Half of you live in houses that you did not build.
Come on.
You pay people to build the house for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you want something, you have to invest in that thing. I'm not going to sit here and say that, one, because I don't want to drive a Cadillac, then Raheem shouldn't drive one either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I wasn't put on this earth to live like animals. I was put on this earth to have life and to have it more abundantly. Why in the world do you think you deserve more than another man who is willing to invest and work harder than you?
Mm-hmm.
When all you have to do is invest. Invest in your education, save your money, do what you want to do. I don't eat at McDonald's.
Neither do I, sir.
Ain't nobody forcing me to eat at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even have to eat meat if I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
So there are lots of people who live lots of different ways. I fight for your opportunity to live how you choose to live.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to be a part of any that would sit there and oppress me because you don't want to invest what I would, because you don't want to risk what I would.
Good deal. Good deal. Let's keep this thing going. And we got 20 minutes left, actually. And I want to talk about we touched on it right now, but I want to touch more on the solutions. What is the solution to what we talked about? And we covered a lot. But Cassandra, we're going to go to Cap. What are some of the solutions that we need to deal with in this society, and how can we move forward? Because some people will say, man, y'all been talking about this thing for 100 years, 45, 50 years, 100 years, whatever it is. Y'all been talking, you're singing the same song, but ain't no melody to it yet. How do we put melody to the song, Cassandra?
I honestly, Raheem, I'm still trying to figure that out. I know we talk about. Yeah, let me say this. I have worked damn hard, put me in the corner, all my life. I'm talking every job I ever had, I gave it everything. I went to school. I went back to school, got student loans to prove that I went back to school to try to better myself and to better my family. And life happened. You understand? I'm talking from me being sick, which, believe me, I don't want to have melanoma cancer. I don't want to have lupus. I don't want none of that stuff. I didn't ask for it. I didn't invite it over, but it happened. And it cut my ability to make money, to do what I needed to do, right?
Yes.
So that's a health issue that I didn't control that, regardless of what anybody might think. I did not control that. And I worked hard paying into a system, and I did because I see how much taxes I paid over the years. Since I was old enough to be taxed, I paid. So now that I need help, I need health insurance. I've said this on here. They put me on a medication that thank God they did because I was being tormented in my body. That cost $7,000 for 2 shots.
Woo.
And I have to have those shots every 2 weeks.
Tell them about it.
Wow.
I'm just saying, $7,000 for 2 shots, and I have to have them every 2 weeks just to be able to function halfway decently. So I will use the system that is in place because I paid into that system. And there are people that have paid and worked hard all their life and things have happened and they haven't been able to achieve the American dream like other people.
Amen.
And I'm happy. Man, listen, I'm so happy for those that have attained and achieved. Man, I'm thrilled for y'all. But life has happened to a lot of us and things that we could not control. That I ain't mad at nobody, but I'm going to use the system that I paid into whatever way I can. And healthcare is one of them. That's a huge thing for me. We have to have those systems in place for those that cannot afford, because I tell you what, it's a lot of people that are dying around us strictly because they did not have health care.
Exactly. Cap, we're talking about solutions. Cap, what's on your heart, brother? What do we do? How do we put? We've been singing the same song. We got the words, but how do we put melody to this song? How do we make something happen?
Well, first and foremost, I got to go and get my man Tucson, and we got to put the ski mask on and go get my girl some shots. Just tell her sister Cassandra where they have them at. We got to break into the place.
Yeah.
We got to break into the place and get you your shots. But now on the real tip, now hear her cry. But here's my take. We're not going to be able to solve all of our problems because they most certainly, Brother Raheem, very complex. All right? We have to pick and choose our strengths, our gifts. We don't want to put somebody in a position that they just ain't good at. They may not want to work with dealing with the protests and getting people to go to the polls to vote. Maybe that's not their forte. And maybe they don't want to work with, going out there and dealing with the youth. And there may be those who love to do that part. Maybe there might be those who want to use the pulpit to bring awareness through preaching the word of Christ in a revolutionary way. Maybe there's those that don't. Every one of us have the opportunity to do. Now, I have the Peacekeepers. 32 chapters, one in London, England, Tobago. I got about 35 registered Peacekeepers. Now, I have not been active because of my health and because I'm not there in those cities. You don't have the same kind of spirit of the people that I put in charge like Captain Dennis. So they died down. Next thing I know, I go to a chapter. We had 25. I go back. We down to 10. Well, where everybody else? Well, Captain, people ain't sure. Because they ain't me. But the bottom line, I got to go back, revive them. These are citizens. These are men and women, ordinary men and women, who want to bring about a change. And they're so excited because we give them hope. Now, we're not changing everything, but you know what we have done? We have gave them a reason to get off the couch, stop talking about it, and being about it, and they like it. That's my small part. And when I say to them, I get them CPR training, and I get them out there in the community, and I tell them, listen, we got to unite. We got white peacekeepers, gay peacekeepers. So why? got to got a universal group of men and women that ain't arguing over religion. We ain't arguing over race. We ain't arguing over. We're talking about peace in the street.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my contribution. That's what I do. And what everybody else do, we come together. Man, we're not going to solve it overnight. It's going to take years. Trust me when I've had years. But we got to get the black family together. That is the number one priority. That is number one on the list. Get the black family back together. And we need to work all on that initiative. And then the second and the third initiative is how can we get back economic control where we control the black dollar and we can create our own business and give outside. Those are the three areas. And I don't think anybody will disagree with that. Just need to come together and do it.
Absolutely.
That's what's on my heart, right?
Good deal. Stanley, talk to
I got an idea.
Say it again.
I got an idea, and it's real simple.
What's your idea?
You know what? Let's all sit down one day. We can do it in 6 months out. Let's really take a look at Claude Anderson's 5 Power Economics.
Right.
And even if we start at the very bottom of the bottom, I think we have enough minds, enough brilliant minds, that we could look at 5 Power Economics and discover the cheapest way for us to start to implement as a group 5 Power Economics. And I'm willing to bet you that if we all did that collectively, all of us that's on this panel, we collectively got together and we sat down and went through 5 Power Economics, page by page by page. We probably could do it in about 6 hours.
Yeah.
We probably could figure out in those 6 hours how we're going to implement, what's going to be the first step, what's going to be the second step, what's going to be the third step, all the way to the 5th. We could probably put the paper on the wood right there and say, look, okay, I got 100. Okay, I got 100. Okay, I got 200. Okay, I got 300. Put that money together. Realize that, you know what? None of us are going to get paid for the first 2 years because we're trying to establish this 5 Power Economics. And then off of that, I'm willing to guarantee you that you will have buy-in from all sorts of different entities, which means that our dollar will matriculate. We'll go back to the day. And they still ain't figured it out. They came close at 18. But in the African-American communities of old, according to 5 Power Economics, $1 matriculated through that particular community 36 times before there was ever a tax paid on it.
Wow.
So that's they have figured out up to 18. The Jewish community, with all due respect, they have figured it out, but they have not figured out how we got to 36. They are only at 18 in present day. Right?
Halfway.
So that they halfway, that matriculation. Here's how, okay, so I'm just gonna break it down like this. That matriculation. So if you say that $1 matriculated through the same community 36 times before ever there was a tax paid on that dollar, in my mind, what you're saying is 36 people got blessed with $1 before there was taxes paid.
Wow.
So you take that dollar and let's say we all got $1,000 on the table. Has matriculated through the community 36 times. Badger, you good with the numbers. Leonard, you good with the numbers. How much money is that matriculated through the community?
Wow. 508. Well, I'm not gonna open up the phone line because we actually going to get out of here. But Stanley, are you there?
H3BC.
Okay, I think we just lost. We just lost Stanley. I was gonna go.
Hey, Raheem,
yes, sir.
have you ever heard of a nonprofit hospital?
Not I can't think. Don't think that I have, brother.
So a non-profit hospital is ran by the community, where everything is a sliding scale. So it's based off of your income, and you pay a monthly payment to that hospital. You get full access. Everyone does full access to healthcare. They do not mark up prices. So that shot Cassandra's probably was talking about would probably be bare minimum cost. It would probably be upmarked just slightly enough for the hospital to still make a slight income. And the community would decide what equipment comes in and comes out. The community would pay for it. To me, that is looked so down upon, and many times the states that they're in do shut many of them down. They allow a certain number in certain states to be allowed to run that way. So there's no billionaire running the hospital. It's ran by the people. They do amazing work. The doctors aren't driving Lamborghinis and everything else because their focus is to take care of the people. They're people focused. They're not getting that. They're not going into that position wanting to make a fortune. They get it because they want to help the people. So it is completely possible to do those things. But to be successful in those um in
Endeavors.
endeavors. Thank you. People got to get away from this mindset of me and mine. Because if we work together as a whole, we can accomplish great things. And these nonprofits prove it.
Good deal.
We don't need the corporate hospitals, but we use them because we don't have an alternative. And it's absolute, sorry for my French, absolute hell to get one built. And that is disgusting to me. That's why I have the opinions that I have, because I see that it's possible. And it should be.
Exactly. I gotta take this opportunity right now, take this time before we get out of here. And I gotta say, Mama, I see you over there, baby. Thank you for joining us. Love you, baby. Love you dearly. I gotta do my shout out. I don't want to hear it later on. Baby, you ain't do my shout out this morning. Yes, I did, Mama. I did your shout out at what time is it? 9:50. What is that? 9:54. 9:54. They didn't want to let me in the door. I said, listen, my man, I'm a real cool guy. I can okay. I got sidetracked. Tucson, you back with us? Tucson, you there? Okay. Cassandra, what's on your heart, sis?
No, I know that we need to find a solution to a lot of the things that are plaguing the communities. But my thing is, first, as Black people, we have to care about each other.
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you and this is biblical. You know, when one of us hurt, we should all be concerned. You know, we have the poor with us always. The Bible talks about that. But what should we do? The Bible says that we should help. We should help those, feeding the hungry, clothing the naked. So if we could just step out of ourselves some and try to be of some help, I think that would mean a lot.
Exactly. That's good. Leonard, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart? Talk to me.
You know what? Y'all go ahead. I ain't heard a plan that I wanted to be a part of yet that y'all mentioned.
Give us
not to be rude.
Give us another solution then. Give us another solution, brother.
No, I'm for this system that we have. Because no other system provides what this system provides. Didn't you just hear the sister say how much them shots cost? You think I'm gonna depend on somebody else to pay that for me?
She gets that paid for because she invested in this great system that allows her to get those shots at what she can afford for.
Explain to me what part of the system is great.
Well, the part of the system that's great is this is the only system that even cares about your basic minimum needs of housing, clothing, and shelter.
Isn't this the same system
What
that Toya?
you get sick and you pour somewhere else?
Isn't this the same system that Toya said sent her home when she was having internal bleeding because she didn't have any insurance? They sent her home.
Yeah, but it don't send everybody home.
Wow. Wow.
It don't send everybody home, and everybody shouldn't have to go home. And this is the thing. If you are on the side of the equation where you feel that you are nothing, that's what you will be. But if you are willing to fight and invest as hard as the next man, you deserve just as much as the next man. So on and so forth. You talk about this hospital where everything is free. Where the doctors gonna come from? Who gonna build a hospital? Where the nurses gonna come from? See, all of the great ideas that you have may only help 5 or 10 people. Claude Anderson ain't got a business where he shares his profit. Do you understand me? If you wanted to do something with another black person, you can go down there and start you an LLC or an S Corp or whatever you wanted to do, whatever it is you want it to do. Try it yourself and see if it works.
Scarface, Pastor Scarface said that I never seen a man cry till I seen a man die. I wonder, did that man die? I wonder, did that man die because of the fact that this system that we're talking about would not help him?
No, that man, if you really understood the song, it was about personal choice and where that man ended up.
Never seen a man.
There are some people who don't believe in doctors, so guess what? They go to spiritual faith healers. I'm good with that if that's what they want to do. However, I also want them to be able to come over here where there's the newest technology that has proven to help prolong lives. And we need to make it affordable. Guess what that sounds like to me? That happens to sound like Obamacare.
So that's what you think it is, Obamacare?
So before you get to making all these grand wishes into the universe, look at what we have done and what's available. You can improve that to make that perfect instead of you taking 15 and 25 years to reinvent a wheel that don't work no better than the one you got.
Wow. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the wheel used to be a square, right?
Yeah, until a fool said, guess what? Look, it rolled better. We get there faster. Who wants to ride a horse from Georgia to Detroit?
But see, my point is this right here: that the wheel used to be square, and they, quote unquote, as you said, they improved it. So what's to say that it can't be? What's the point in saying it can't be improved upon again? It may be that time
because all of the things that you have mentioned.
Leonard, it may be time to improve upon what was perfection at that time. Don't mean it's gonna be perfection forever. There's always advancements. They said that they said that Kareem Abdul basket. They said listen. They said that Kareem Abdul basketball when he had that record would never be touched until now LeBron came in and now he's the head of the he's the head honcho, if you will. And so my whole point is this right here. Just like you have a system, just like they say this wheel is perfect, it may have been perfect for that particular season, but there's another season now. So that's all.
But if the difference that you're looking at has already been done, you ain't came up with nothing. Most of you are segregationists. First of all, let's make that clear. Some of you have only come up with things and you have only included black people.
Well,
What about everybody else?
Well, what about the system that you're talking about that exclude black people? Leonard, we got to keep this thing going. Hold on for a second, because there's a very system that you're talking about that you say out. We looking to include black people. There's a very system that's been here forever that has always attempted and is still attempting to this day to exclude black people. So what are we to do? Cap, talk to me.
Well, I like what my brother said. I mean, we dealing with systems. I mean, if we want to make it complicated, we can. But KISS, keep it simple, soldier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say keep it simple, stupid.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make it complicated. It's not complicated. It may look complicated. Our condition, yes. But all we have to do is to come together, put aside our political differences, our religious differences, our racial differences, our social differences. If we could put aside those differences and see each other's value, and let that person that's good at what they do back on. It's going to take some time. Yes. Our people are stubborn. Yes. You're going to have people that stand in the way. Yes. They're going to have people that think what we're trying to do is stupid. Yes. But to do nothing is not an option. We have to get the church. We have to get the church back involved. We got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We can't leave it out there. It's the oldest institution we got. Yes, it got problems, but we can't abandon it. We got to get the mosque strong. Yes, we can't abandon the mosque and what it brings the nation, what it brings of black consciousness to black people and its discipline. So when we willing to say, I like what brother said. Yes, we got my man in Detroit. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has a 3-point economic program too. If everybody put a quarter aside a week, times 4 times $1, times this, and he had to lay it out. And in 1 year we have $1 million. Very simple, and it won't be no strength. We already got those economic plans. But we have a problem in following the person to introduce it to us.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as we come up with Lord, with my man, there's somebody going to say, well, it was the same thing. Dr. Sebi, man, he had a good, and then Elijah Muhammad had what he got, and then Dr. Sebi's gone. We just got to understand. We have identified our problems, Brother Raheem.
Mm-hmm.
I think we did a good job. And I still think we still need to work on, identify some more of our problems.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go to work on them.
Exactly.
And we need to come together and have a summit and have a DKM radio summit. And y'all spend your own money if y'all serious.
Mm-hmm.
And we get a nice little a conference center. And we sit down, the team, and we put the items on the board and we say, which one of them we want to tackle first? At least we try it.
Yeah.
But we're going to sit there and find every reason not to come together. Well, see, I like it, but sometimes, see, we always say that. See, you're going to have that. But I'm committed.
Mm-hmm.
I love black people. I'm sorry, y'all. Charge me for being in love with black people. Charge me. And when you're in love with your people, you can't give up on them. No matter how crazy they are, I will not give up on them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good.
help me, God.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal.
If everybody's down with that, let's get a meeting together down the road.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down. Outside of that, I'm going to add to what you just said, Cap, and I'm going to say all of the issues is a wheel, is on a wheel. And every single issue that we are discussing right now feeds into the very next issue. So it's not hard for us to address the issues for which we tackle each and every day. The hardest part is going to be deciding if we're going to do what they have done for years, which is grab at the lowest hanging fruit first, or on grab at that which is a little more what's the word I'm looking for? Complicated. But I'm down, and I'm just going to state it honestly. From what I'm seeing, every single issue that we're having in America is directly connected and directly correlates to another issue. Healthcare correlates to housing. Housing correlates to employment. Employment correlates to wealth. Wealth correlates to housing. Everything is encompassed on the wheel.
Good deal.
It's just a matter of us deciding which ones are we going to tackle first. If we go with the lowest hanging fruit, then probably your lowest hanging fruit would be housing and employment.
Wow.
Creating these partnerships. Raheem, you set the date. Raheem, don't. I love you, man. Don't blow this, man. Set the date, and don't set it for next week. Set the date. Find out where we all stand.
That's right.
You set that up.
Good deal. Good deal. All right. Well, right now we're about to get out of here, and we'll definitely will have this conversation moving forward. It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Leonard, what's going on at 3:00 today, sir?
If you did not get a chance to hear the show in its entirety, log on to www.dkmmediagroup.com at 3:00 Eastern tonight.
Good deal. Cap, pray us out, sir.
You asked me, Raheem?
Cap.
Thank you so much, sir. Heavenly Father, we thank you. We give you praise. We give you honor. We trust in thee and we believe in thee in all of our affairs. We are united together under your righteous word. Protect us, guide us, and give us the discernment to know what is right from what is wrong. Bless our brothers and sisters that's on this line. Strengthen us, God, with thy spirit. Bless Brother Raheem and his family and give him your spirit and give him your protection. Almighty God, please let us not become arrogant, that we cannot see the value of each other, but recognize through you that we are successful. We pray, Almighty God, that you would unite us with your spirit and give us your guidance, that we may become one with you. These things we ask in the name of all of your righteous servants. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Time for us to get out of here, man. It is now, what time is it? 10:10. You're about to exit the morning glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. Now we shine some of this light of you from the morning glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Give somebody some love and truth. They would appreciate it. And I'm sure that you will as well. Have a great day. God bless you. See you tomorrow morning if God says the same.